Hey sweet friends, it's Amy Lay, the Invincibility Coach. I'm here to get the planet in a better mood. That's my mission. You can follow me on YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and occasionally TikTok you'll see me. So I hope you'll join me. Today I am coming at you with a kind of a public service announcement. And it has to do with the electrical grid and connectivity, just in general. So for me personally, over the last couple of days, I have experienced some interruptions in my service where I am, and that's not entirely uncommon. You know, people experience all different levels of connectivity depending on where they live, depending on their circumstances, right? And really, I kind of want to just hit you guys with a brief message today, which has to do with contingency plans. So I did a piece, a video sometime back about your contingency plan, and even on I wrote a blog about it too, about your go bag, and just all along the lines of contingency plans. I think it's a really good idea to decide, what will I do, what would I do if all my power went out. And it could just be a local neighborhood thing for a little while. It could be much broader. It's important to understand and to be aware that there are what's known as bad actors in the world, as in other countries, that are constantly trying to mess with our electric grid. It's just a thing, and it's been around for decades and decades, right? It's not entirely new. It's just that our current infrastructure has not been updated full scale to such a degree that it should be by now, right? So it makes us a little bit more vulnerable. This isn't like a panic message. It's just basically like, hey, you guys, it's just something to be aware of. We could lose power for a period of time. You know, maybe it would be a short period, maybe it would be a longer period, but the two things that I want to focus on here are, number one, sit down with your close peeps, right? If you're in lockdown mode, if you're doing the isolating, quarantining thing, good for you. But have a conversation with the people in your household, in your proximity, and decide what would we do, you know, if the power went out for like a brief amount of time or a longer period of time. And seriously, as long as you do have connectivity, there are some crazy awesome tips out there in the interwebs that you can say, hey, you know, what's a list of things I should have on hand? What's number 1, 2, 3 I should do? I don't do your homework for you, remember. So that would be ridiculous for me to like repeat all this stuff that's out there. There's a ton of stuff. You decide how deep you want to go, right? I mean, there are some people that I know that don't have any kind of plan at all, versus a couple of years ago, I went to a health retreat, to a little spot that this place was like thousands of acres, and it was all solar powered. And there was like the 40-year pantry where like they had everything they needed. They had a walk-in freezer. Like, I mean, like they were set. These people were set. You know, these people exist, right? They're hyper prepared. Okay, so which one is right? Well, you decide that for yourself, right? Just have a contingency plan and be aware. Like, get your people around you to be like, what would I do? Because again, you know, if it's just electricity, then you're not going to be able to likely get on your computer. You may be able to use your phone. If the towers are working, right, nearby, that are communicating with satellites, blah, 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 but be prepared for that to go away too, right? I mean, this is not about like a panic message. This is like, come on, be prepared, right? There's nothing wrong with being prepared. It will help you because you'll be like, yeah, okay, I prepared for this. Which brings me to my second point that I want to focus on, and that is your attitude, right? Your center, if that were to happen. The number one thing to remember, just like you've heard, you know, from day one, don't panic, okay? That's just not going to help anything. All right, so if you're a person that likes to panic, be prepared to, that means that you're going to be affecting the people around you if you're the panic person. That means they're going to have to like help manage you because you can't manage yourself, okay? So work on managing yourself, all right? The number one thing to remember, if you are placed in a situation where there's no power, no connectivity, no communication beyond whoever's standing right in front of you, just check yourself. Check your head. Be like, you know what? I'm cool. I'm in one piece. If it's an emergency, then clearly you're going to be seeking emergency help somehow, some way. Okay? You're going to utilize whatever resources are around you in order to get medical help. But I'm talking about just if you're just like having your day, or you wake up in the morning and there's nothing, right? Take a breath. Just take a breath and think to yourself, it's cool. I'm going to be just fine. And if I can't join that video meeting, or if I can't call that person and let them know that I'm okay, I need to be okay with that. I need to be okay with that, right? So help yourself by practicing perspective, okay? The example that I used this morning when I was in a big video conference with a bunch of advisors that I work with, we talked briefly about the library in Alexandria back, BC times, right? And this place, they had amassed an amazing amount of knowledge and records of who knows what there, because we don't know, it's gone, right? They, meaning the people that, and this isn't a history lesson, but I'm just saying there was an opportunity to grab what they could, but then the library was destroyed. What we are doing right now by amassing so much stuff in this electronic realm, the cloud, whatever, is not so dissimilar to the Library of Alexandria. So what would we do? Like, sure, there's backups, but really, right? And anyway, so this, again, this isn't alarmist, it is be prepared to have the right attitude about that. If something, toward catastrophic were to happen like that, don't panic. You're going to make it through. You are invincible. Remember? Okay. Now go do your homework, get a contingency plan, and then go live your dream life. That's what we spend most of our time doing. Living the dream life. Peace out. I love you guys.